sounds like a perfect job that I did. Welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast about all things Plymouth and surrounding areas. I am your host, Andy, joined today by Hannah, co-host, and our always irritable producer, Fish.
That is not true. Sometimes I'm asleep.
Yeah. Do it this way, meh. Never makes him happy.
Nothing makes me happy, Andy.
Yep.
We don't have any updates. We just recorded an episode seconds ago.
Yes, that's okay.
So let's just jump right in. What are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about Osmosis Jones.
I remember that was on the list now.
Yes.
Yeah. Love that movie.
Do you?
Kinda, in a weird, it's bad.
You do?
It's not a good movie.
No.
So I'm in the position of I am not 100% sure I've seen the movie.
Oh.
But I'm also not 100% sure I haven't.
Multiple times.
On purpose?
No. I don't know. It's just one of those movies that, I think the first time you see it, you're like, oh, this is a great cast. And you put it on. And you're like, wow, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
But then, the movie channels played it a lot.
That makes sense. Yeah. I feel like it was something that was on TV.
I think it's good background noise.
Kind of. Yeah.
It's not going to get your attention, but at least there's not silence in the room.
Right. So, it was released in 2001.
Okay.
It's an part animation, part live action story.
That is correct.
Yep. There are 4 directors.
That I did not know.
So 2 for the live action, 2 for the animation.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that. But Chris Rock starred as Osmosis Jones.
Yeah.
David Hyde Pierce was Drix.
Yep.
The
Drixel Thor.
Yeah. The medicine.
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne was the virus, also called Thorax.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I didn't pick that.
And then it was hard to say what his actual illness was. But pretty much what I got from online is that he was scarlet fever.
Oh, I didn't think scarlet fever was a big deal. Wasn't scarlet fever
not.
just
It happens to one person every 50 years.
Scarlet fever? Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Oh, you could die from it very easily.
I didn't think it was. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking maybe I must be thinking of something else.
Yeah, scarlet fever is bad.
No, I thought scarlet fever was one of those things where they're like, oh, it's scarlet fever, and they're like, oh, it's bronchitis with a rash, kind of
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know what I'm thinking of.
I think we're probably handling scarlet fever pretty well now as a society.
Yeah.
In the modern world.
All right.
So.
All right.
Probably
fever.
not as big of a deal. That's at least what the internet says. I think there was a few other things that they wanted it to be at first.
Yeah. William Shatner's also does a voice in that.
He's the mayor.
Yep.
Brandy, the singer and actress, was the mayor's assistant.
Now, and you say the mayor of... It's not Bob.
No, Bob is a character.
Okay. Frank.
Yeah, he is the mayor of Flank.
Yeah. A flank?
A Frank. And that's just the main people for the cartoon. Oh, and Ron Howard voiced the mayor's competition because there was an election going on.
It was Ron Howard, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember that part.
He was a quick little snippet.
Kid Rock's in it.
Yeah, Kid Rock is in it, and his whole band, Josie,
the whole,
The budget was $70 million.
Mm-hmm.
It earned $14 million in the box office.
That is not a good return.
Not at all. Reviews overall were not great, but really love the animation part to it.
I think that's it. It looks good.
The animation was pretty cool. They used a mix of just actual I don't even know what you would call it because I'm not good at it saying what any of that is, but just drawing, but then some computer generated stuff that made it look kind of fun.
Yeah.
And newer-ish for the time. So thought we'd talk about the movie a little bit.
Okay.
Do you remember? What do you remember from it?
Okay. So my synopsis, Frank, played by Bill Murray,
Yep.
is a zookeeper
Yep.
and goes to his daughter's science fair. Now, this part's in IRL, in real life.
Yeah.
And Molly Shannon is like the principal or a science teacher.
A teacher, yeah.
And Frank is like this just nasty, gross guy.
Yeah.
And there was a kids' science project there that was something about oysters filtering out toxins
Yeah.
from water. And Frank is like, oh, I believe you that it works. And so he does like an oyster shooter.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets whatever. And then like it cuts like inside and like his stomach is like an airport arrival
So,
kind of thing.
no, that's not what happens. That does happen, but that's not what happens. The beginning of the movie opens up with him with his daughter at the zoo.
Yeah.
Bill Murray gets in a fight with a monkey
Okay.
who has stolen his hard-boiled egg. The monkey puts it in his mouth, and he wrestles with the monkey to get the hard-boiled egg.
Is that where he gets
out.
sick?
Yes.
So where does the oyster come?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
The whole time, I don't know, like, if this is... This poor kid, because I don't think she was in anything else as a child actor, or at least anything else that, like, really sticks out. To the point where, like, she wasn't even listed on Wikipedia things for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or at least, like, no... You know how there's a link?
There was no... Her name was there, but you couldn't click on it?
Yeah. So, I feel like whoever gave her lines was, like... I don't know. Like, whoever Oprah had on as, like, a dietitian at the time. Like... or, like, Dr. Oz. Like, very much. Like, it was... It was, like... Like you can't live this way. It's gonna affect your overall health in life. Like,
Okay.
like things like that. Like the way you treat your body affects how long you'll live. Like things like that.
Like it's very... It's like an AI wrote it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, her lines are so weird. And not that like Bill Murray's are that much better, but he's got a little. I mean,
he's Bill Murray.
He puts his own delivery on
Yeah.
it. So, he fights with that chimp to get the egg. He gets the egg after it is dropped onto the ground into monkey poop.
Okay.
And then that's how the virus gets in.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought, I was like, is it monkeypox? And it's not. So
Okay.
he just eats like a dirty, poopy egg.
Dirty poopy egg. Okay.
Yeah. It's gross. So yeah, and then that's when we get inserted into his body, Magic School Bus style. And that's where you meet Osmosis Jones. He's with his partner. They're on stomach duty, trying to blast out germs before they get in.
Yeah, and there's like a button that makes him vomit.
Yeah. Sorry, had to grab my water. There's plenty of buttons in his body that do lots of things. That's just imagine a city
Inside a person.
inside a person. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Except the thing where this movie crosses over that didn't make a lot of sense to me was that which I mean it's the body, so it's all connected, but everything's connected. But like his immune system would also like everything was. His immune system was also his brain activity. So like the mayor was up by the brain.
Oh yeah, like that because they were all white blood cells.
Yes. Yeah. So that part.
Like they were the cops and
the civilians and the everything.
Yeah.
And the germs were just bad guys. Anyway, Osmosis Jones loses track of the germs because he's trying to get them. And he messes up because he keeps messing up. He's that cop that wants to do more than he can handle.
Yeah.
And he lets some germs in. And then the germ Drax, or the virus Drax, is skulking around because he got.
Isn't Drax the medicine?
Sorry. Thrax.
Drix
is the.
Drix, all right. How could we possibly get this wrong?
And he's skulking around, being evil and plotting evil things, trying to kill Frank within 48 hours.
Yeah.
And trying to get germs on his side.
And he gets like a bead necklace of some kind.
It's a piece of the person's brain cell.
Okay.
Or stem cell. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got several of them from the people he's killed.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
And that's what he's going after in Frank. And they work throughout the body until Osmosis Jones gets partnered up with
Drix. Yeah.
Who he doesn't like at first.
Right.
But they learn to love each other.
And Drix is like a cold tablet.
Pretty much, yeah. And I mean, he's pretty useful.
Yeah, he's got like a gun hand or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's got all these tricks in his sleeves. They make their way to the nose. They experience what it's like when Frank has something from the outside come in a few times, right? So he's allergic to pollen.
Oh, right.
So there's like things in his nose shooting off the pollen. And then...
I remember at some point they go to a zit.
Yes. That is where the virus is like hiding out.
And I think that's where like Kid Rock is playing because the zit is like a club.
Filled with bacteria and germs. And Osmosis Jones, which might be one of the only like more accurate things of this movie about how white blood cells work is he disguises himself as a germ to get in there, which that actually does happen in your body. So,
but, okay, you know what? No, at this point, I've acknowledged I've never seen this.
Okay, and
this sounds wild.
I'm pretty sure I can't remember if it's in that club, but they go to talk to an informant, and an informant is a virus.
It's a
vaccine.
Yes.
Yeah, which I'm like, that's kind of, okay. I like that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yep.
Because that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are a few things that like make sense. It's one of the white blood cells talking as, which is Brandy talks as his subconscious, his like self-consciousness. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, talks to Frank.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he like gets
like his Jiminy Cricket.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets it in his head to like do something because he heard, the voice in his head told him to do it. But that's what, I'm like, well, does that make sense? I don't know.
I hope that my white blood cells don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Like,
they could communicate in some way.
I know, but I think they're dealing with a lot right now, and I don't feel like chatting. They've got work to do.
Yeah.
So while this is all happening, right?
It's perfectly timed. Like, fish are getting over colds.
True.
Yeah.
There's
go get him, Osmosis.
The live action stuff is going on. So we see Frank at the zoo. We see Frank at his daughter's school. We see him at home. We see him at a hospital. We see him driving around.
But what does this have to do with Plymouth, Hannah?
Thank you. Oh my gosh. So the zoo was actually just built around Jenny Pond.
Yeah.
Right? I watched it with Donnie, and if I don't know if I didn't point it out, I don't know if he would have noticed.
Oh, really?
That it was Jenny Pond, yeah. I mean, I think he would have.
I don't know if I've watched it since I've moved to Plymouth.
To me, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Jenny Pond. It's like the first scene opens up with like the bridge that goes over the pond, and you see the little cul-de-sac across the street.
Yeah.
And the zoo is like 2 pens.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't ever have any like huge establishing shop.
No. And they utilize the parking lot a little bit. There's a camel pen like in the main area. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny to see and just be like, wow, what a small little area.
What a weird area to be like, let's put a zoo here.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
it makes you wonder what like when you're location scouting, like what it is you're looking for.
I know.
Yeah, what makes you look at like that is a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there aren't real zoos within 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That, would probably let you film there.
Yeah. I remember when they filmed it because the Jenny Gristmill area was closed down. You couldn't get into it unless you were signed up as a extra, I'm
That's
sure.
like half the parking down that side. It's horrible.
Yeah.
There was way more free parking in Plymouth.
I was going to say it was like the only free parking. Yeah.
Well, like now it is.
Now it is, yeah.
Then
not so much.
it could have parked anywhere for free.
I mean, it was...
Except for like the side, like on the side of the road. No, not even. Like most of the side streets didn't have meters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is what, 20 odd years ago.
Yes.
Over 20 years ago.
There was so much free parking.
Yeah,
when you hear people complain about parking, it's because they've lived here as long as I have, and they've just watched it
Like disappear.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I used to not have to pay for this.
That's where you would park when literally, because you were going there. Like, not because you, like...
Because
No.
you didn't want to pay.
Yeah. There was so much free parking. Anyway, beyond that, I remember when they were filming it and just it being blocked off, and I can remember seeing some tent things set up. And then there's a scene where he goes to his daughter's school. That's Nathaniel Morton. That's right downtown.
Yeah.
Kind of close to where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also believe they used that school for the hospital scene, and they just used the hallways.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
But I think I've only been in that school like once. So I
Yeah.
haven't had to be. So
Never been in it.
yeah. See, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like if you see him from the outside, but you really don't
Yeah.
have any idea what's on the inside. So, and then there's a scene, they drive through the state forest. I think literally every character drives through the state forest.
Okay.
And then, what's the other one? Oh, they're in a house.
I was going to say, is there like his house? Like,
They're in his house. I cannot confirm, but it does look like a house that is either off Standish, which
Yeah.
is a big road, or Oak Street, which is like right up the road from the Jenny Grist Mill. So, if anyone knows whose house they
let us
filmed
know
in,
whose house. Yeah, that'd be cool.
that would be great. And then, all right, so back to the animation.
Okay.
They're fighting off everything happening in Frank. Right, the little necklace thing you talked about.
Yeah.
That's the whole. That's Thrax's whole mission, is to get that. At one point, Frank is put in the hospital because he does get this thing out of his brain, and he ends up having, almost a
Seizure or something?
but a fever-induced one because he
Yeah.
already got him into a fever state.
Yeah.
So that's what they're treating it like at the hospital. His daughter meets him at the hospital. There's Uncle Bob, who is just Bob, his friend.
Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott,
Yeah.
yes. He's there. He brings his daughter there.
I'm trying to remember why, but like one of the big fight scenes is on a fake eyelash that she's wearing for some reason.
Yes. So,
But like I don't know why they're on her.
so I'm about to tell you, because it's like one of the only times they exit the body.
Okay.
She's like standing near him, and he's like starts coughing or aspirating, and they get like coughed out of him
Oh, okay.
somehow from some sort of orifice, and she has fake eyelashes on because she was going to go on a camping trip that her dad couldn't go on because a few years ago at a science fair he threw up on a teacher.
That's the oyster thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I was
and
gonna
that's why Osmosis Jones was like not like the bad cop, but like not a good cop, was because he was the one who initiated the throw up.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So he
It all comes full circle, fish.
yes, I was gonna
It's a
get
tightly woven story.
I was gonna
Osmosis Jones.
I was gonna come back to it for you.
So confused.
So Molly
Does this sound like complete gibberish?
Yes.
Okay.
cool.
It's pretty accurate.
Molly Shannon. This is like, and it's a flashback when that happens.
Okay.
So that's why it feels like that's what happened. But
Yeah.
like it is part of the movie. It's just kind of in the middle of it. Because of that, like puts a restraining order on him.
Right. Which
Yeah.
is like the stupidest thing.
Yeah. So because she was embarrassed, and then her kids
Yeah.
had to were bullied at school, but their names were like Ralph and
Oh, yeah.
Chuck.
Chuck or something like that. Yeah. That's right.
so. Anyway, so he had a restraining order on him. Couldn't go to the camp, dad-daughter camp thing.
Okay.
But he couldn't tell his daughter that he had a restraining order on him from his teacher, who was just overreacted, obviously. But it's a movie.
Yeah.
So her friends, to cheer her up on the way to the camp thing, are putting makeup on her on the bumpiest bus on the planet. And I just think it's the funniest thing. So he just so happens to be driving with his friend Bob to New York on the same road, and she sees her dad getting pulled into an ambulance on the side of the road. So she goes, "Stop the bus." And
they were going like a rib eating thing or some barbecue thing.
So there's a wing eating contest or something.
Yeah.
Something like that or just a wing contest. It could have just been for flavor, right? In Buffalo. That was not real, but because of the movie, they made an actual contest.
Really?
Yes. And they've been doing it every year since.
Wow. Okay.
They never even went to it, though. Like, it wasn't a featured part
mentioned.
of the movie. Yes.
We started this because it was mentioned in a bad movie.
So
It also makes sense that if anywhere is going to have a wing competition,
Buffalo.
it would be Buffalo.
Yeah. So, him and Virgo.
Like, I could see it just being them looking at it going, what?
Oh, that's not a
Guys,
bad idea.
why aren't we doing this?
Yeah. Right.
We are leaving money on the table.
So, they're in the hospital. Fake eyelashes. That's where
Yeah.
they come from.
And she's crying, like the fake eyelashes, like peeling off.
Yes.
It's all dramatic fish.
So
like
she's
this is
crying.
like the music's up. and-
They're on her eye. Osmosis Jones is fighting Thrax to get the piece of his brain back. Right. And then she ends up leaning over towards him because she's flatlining in front of her.
Yeah. Which is, you always leave the kid in the room when the parents flatlining.
I know, and like the nurse is trying to like get her out of there, and she's like, "No, my dad, he should have eaten right." Like she literally says stuff like this. And she goes over to him. I believe it's like off of a tear that Osmosis ends up back
in Frank.
Yeah, and Thrax lands off the eyelash into
just a random open jar of alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like you leave them laying around when there's a dude dying.
When you're in the hospital, you need it quick.
Yeah.
He gets back. He returns Frank's stem cell. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. I don't want to say DNA. It's not DNA.
They don't really explain it, but he does get it from a piece of DNA.
Yeah. Okay.
In the base of his skull.
Okay.
And he saves the day.
He saves Frank.
Yes. And Frank says he'll turn his life around and...
Of course.
Stop eating monkey poop eggs?
Because apparently he knew exactly what happened.
Yeah. And he just, was going to do better. So... we hit a few major areas of Plymouth. That's why we were talking about it. 'Cause it was filmed in Plymouth, right?
Yeah.
I know some people who say they're in the movie, and I actually saw someone.
Okay.
That I...
Did you rewatch it?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Do you think Hannah remembers the movie this well?
I was pretty much, other than the whole beginning, which I don't know why I don't know that part.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see someone, and of course it was like I had to rent it off Amazon, so I rewound it when I saw the person I knew.
Yeah.
And it was coming in all flaky every time
really?
I did it. It wouldn't like load up fast enough. But I was like, "Oh my god, that's it!" But I'm sure there's plenty of people that maybe I just don't even recognize or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a few people I know that were there as extras. And I do remember them for a decent amount of time filming. And just like causing a ruckus. Not a big ruckus, but a disturbance to the town.
It's a small enough town where people are going to talk.
Yeah. Some hardships about the movie. Animation finished ahead of schedule. Perfectly on time. Those two dudes that did it worked well. They could not find a director for the live action part. So it was like the last thing to happen in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you watch the movie, that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense why it's so stiff and bad dialogue. And
the Farley brothers were the two directors on it, and in order for them to do it, they had to there was an agreement made that they would be credited as the directors, even though they had nothing to do with the animation.
Oh, okay.
So when you see it, it's
it's a Farley Brothers movie.
It's a Farrelly Brothers movie, yeah.
Is that who they are? Sorry.
Yeah.
And then
Farrelly. Yeah.
And then after a couple other credits, it's animation directors, and then it's the two other guys. So,
but now that they've seen it, do they regret that?
I would think so.
So they'd be like, "I demand we're on as directors," and then later you'd be like, "I mean, if you want to change it now, it's fine."
And then it took a while to find the main character. So, but like Bill Murray just kind of hopped on like really late in the game when the script had been out there for a while and they were trying to, like, production was trying to get the movie actually off the ground.
Huh.
But it wasn't, nothing was like set in stone for a while for the live action part. There's a rumor that Will Smith was almost going to play Osmosis Jones.
Okay.
Makes sense, but scheduling conflicts.
He was too busy with the Fish Cop movie?
Yes. That was like around that time, honestly. But yeah, they filmed in Plymouth from April 2nd to June 19th of 2000. I was in the...
It was 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. And they didn't use up too many locations, honestly. They condensed it down.
They're shooting like, I assume not quite half a movie.
Maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If I'm giving it a lot of...
So, how many locations do you really need? We need the zoo and the house and the hospital, and really it's about it.
And it sounds like it was kind of last minute, so...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would I rate this movie?
Yes, Hannah. What would you rate this movie?
What would you rate this movie?
2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. I didn't watch it really when it came out either, which is hilarious because I think I was the target audience and like I knew about it because it was in the town.
Yeah, that's weird. You'd think you would...
Nope, never saw it in theaters.
I feel like 2 out of 5 is a fair... Wow. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch.
No.
It's $2.99 on Amazon.
Yeah,
I'm not spending $3 on this. IMDb gives it 6.3 stars out of 10.
Oh.
What?
Out of 10?
Out of 10. Look,
6.3 out of 10?
6.3 out of 10. 37,000 votes.
Wow. Okay.
I think that it's the animation part, which honestly, like I said, it was pretty cool, but I didn't sell the movie for me at the end of the day. And then, oh my gosh. Oh, they had a little spin-off show. Osmosis Jones.
Oh, really?
Drix, yes. And I remember that show. I didn't watch it.
Like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing?
Yes, kind of thing. And it didn't last super long, but there was a little spin-off show for a little bit.
Well, that happened a lot around that time.
It did.
But that's really...
I mean...
If you spent $70 million to make something and it made $14 million, I can't see the pitch then be like, oh, you know what we should do?
How much money did Godzilla make?
Yeah, it's Godzilla.
The Matthew Broderick, not like a good one, the Matthew Broderick
one. Godzilla
that is a good one to me.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, listeners.
Good one. I love
sorry,
that movie.
listeners.
Oh, wow.
But Godzilla has like a lot of groundwork ahead of it.
Yeah, but they made the cartoon about the Matthew Broderick one.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot about
honestly,
that.
the cartoon was pretty good.
I was a big fan of that movie.
And actually, they made a cartoon, not the cartoon. There's more than one.
That's true.
Yeah, they made an animated sequel series to a flop movie.
Yeah.
So it's not like it doesn't happen. It's just odd.
So this is the part where you should go watch that movie. And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.